Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran, and I'm going to take a detour today and do something completely different, and that is talk about a movie I watched this weekend, which is Sinners. This is a new movie by the director of Black Panther. Creed, also one of my favorite boxing films, is Creed. Big fan of it. He did not work on Creed 2. I do think he developed some characters, though, that were in Creed 2, like the Dragoffs and what they were going to do with that. But let's talk about that in a little bit. So, this new movie, Sinners, everybody was talking about it. I've seen the trailer. It seemed like a fresh take on vampire, basically because the setting is completely different, right? We're talking about like a Jim Crow era type situation here, which is a little bit different. I'm not used to that. 1932 vampire film, and we're going to talk about that Jim Crow era, and we're talking about still freedom, sure, but plantations, ex-slaves, black people still working, picking in the fields. And basically, there's a theme of money in this and how they're actually using wooden nickels and stuff like that, fake currency, right, to trade and barter with. And money is a big theme in this with the two brothers and why money is real power and real freedom. Now, we're going to get to that maybe a little bit later on. Overall, I like the film, and I'm not going to try to go into big spoilers in this film outside of anything that is actually visibly in the trailer for this. I can't see past a couple of things in this, and I'm going to have to point those out. And I'm afraid a lot of people are kind of looking past some real blaring errors in this film. Now, before I get into that, I'd rather talk a little bit about the things I do like. And one of the things that caught headlines to me as a comic creator that I do appreciate here, because in America, creators are oftentimes taken advantage of, especially in the comic book world, but also in film, where directors make these awesome films and they never actually own this stuff, right? The studio makes their money back and all of that stuff, but somehow the studio continues to own these films. And somehow, the director, Ryan, was able to actually strike a deal with Warner Brothers that will change his life, obviously. But this could actually change Hollywood definitely because more people are going to point to this and say, I want one of these. You did it before, whatever. Basically, he's getting the film back after 25 years, which is crazy, right? That the guy that wrote this, that directed this, that created these characters, that they will return to him in 25 years' time. And I guess at that point, he's able to option it to anybody else for any streaming service, to anything like that. Now, the studio, from my understanding, they put like, was it like 60 million, which seems really low, but or $90 million into this film. So it's relatively cheap, but it basically opened up US with $60 million for an original IP. And look, I granted this is a big success story. This is something new, but I want to put a pin in that. Is it really something new? That is my biggest issue with this, and I'm going to go into that. And everybody's going to hate me for it. I'm warning you now. You're going to hate me for what I'm about to do to this movie. But let's say this is something new in a sea of intellectual properties, the fatigue and superhero movies and stuff like that. And there's some things people just like. And that is vampire movies, horror movies, and stuff like that. And especially it being a new franchise, so to speak, or, looks like something new. So, what do I think of the movie, right? I'll be honest. And guys, if you're wanting to watch this movie and you want to enjoy it, probably X out this video from here on out. There's nothing else. Go watch it. Go have fun. All of that stuff. And I'm not purposely trying to tear this thing down. I'm really not. I went into this liking this director's other films, even like the first movie he did with Michael B. Jordan. I think it was Fruitvale Station or something like that. I'd seen that independent film way back. And the director basically went into Creed $200,000 in debt and film school debt. I mean, the guy deserves all the success in the world, in my opinion. There was a fight scene in Creed that was basically a one-shot rotating camera boxing match that I thought was refreshing. And honestly, I like Black Panther. Okay. I like Michael B. Jordan. There's a lot of things to like in this film. With that said, Michael B. Jordan plays an awesome twin. Okay. And now I've seen movies. I've seen Tom Hardy play a twin. I've seen this done a couple of times with actors, of course. I've seen famously Jean Claude Van Damme double impact, right? But this was probably done the best with the camera angles they picked, overlaying one another, the interactions, actually handing each other simple things like a cigarette and stuff. And he plays posture and all, like you can see in this one image. He really does play two different characters, and their interactions with each other are almost flawless. It actually is 100% like your eyes are playing tricks and you're seeing actual twins. It's great. The sets are great. The lighting's great. There is maybe some uncomfortable undertones there in American history that most people don't like to delve into, and but they're there to make you well, one, but it's a different setting to an already unsettling event that's about to happen. But, it is, from my understanding, historically pretty accurate, right? This did happen. And I think it's kind of refreshing in the sense that a lot of people kind of want to paint past history or pick history that only suits them. All of that stuff is fine to me. What I do have issue with, and this is where, again, everybody's going to hate me, is as much as I like this director, as much as I like the actor, this movie is very flawed in the simple fact it's already been done before. There is nothing new here. And when I say it's not new, nothing under the sun hasn't been done in film. But this movie, and guys, correct me if there's an article out here where the director Coogler says that he was heavily, this is a homage to. Please send me to the article because I'm not coming across it. But Sinners has been done before. Two brothers who have a life of crime. One dies and turns into a vampire. By the way, that's in the trailer. Okay. Michael B. Jordan in the door saying, "Let me out." Okay. So that's not technically a spoiler, but cut this off if you don't want me to go into it more. But this has all been done before. Where has it been done before? I don't know. It's been done from dusk till dawn. Two brothers, one both held up in a club of some sort, trying to survive the night, right? And one gets turned into a vampire. Okay, like now a lot of people are like, Shane, yes, but come on, bro. It's a different movie. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is because once I saw that, it kind of plays out the same in a lot of ways until you get to the ending. And now I will say, if you're hanging in here in the video, do not do what other people do and walk out as soon as the credits start playing, because the actual ending of the movie is after the credits. And then there's another scene after the second set of credits. So you have to sit through the credits to actually get to the true ending of the movie. And it's not a guest appearance exactly or anything like that, like in a Marvel movie. It's the actual ending to the movie is after the credits. So if you do watch it, make sure you sit there till the end. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. But yes, two brothers, life of crime, because it's hinted at, and a lot, I don't know, in a different technique that they had maybe came across their money through mob ways, right? Stealing and stuff like that. So you have two brothers who are on a life of crime, it seems like, in Chicago, coming back with money and opening up a club. Okay, well, you end up with two criminals that end up trying to evade the law on an RV that get held up in a club, and they just have to survive the night. In both cases, one of the brothers, which is an interesting dynamic, mind you, you're fighting vampires and one of your brothers gets turned into a vampire. What's the only difference I can come across between these two plot devices is the fact that these guys are twins and these guys are just brothers. So once I saw that, I really couldn't look past it. Does it ruin the movie? Yes, it actually does. If you like From Dusk Till Dawn, you can't see past it. It actually does ruin the movie. I couldn't see past it the entire film. The other thing is then you end up with what's left after the vampire attack. of kind of like a team dynamic, right? The one character's the strong protagonist in this case, which is Michael B. Jordan, the other one would have been George Clooney, are both faced with the loss of their brothers to being a vampire. Their mind is fractured, and then you end up with what would be a variety of characters that team up together with spikes that try to make it through the night and run through the rules of vampires really quick and what they're supposed to do. And you'll end up with a just like in the other film, you'll end up with characters being turned. You'll end up with characters, trying to personality conflicts, all of that stuff. The hero, the coward, all of that stuff happens in this film. Not exactly different. And again, they just have to make it to the other end, which is the sun rising. Now, to say that's the only similarities and pointing out that, bro, it's kind of the same. I will say the director writer adds a lot more depth to these characters in a lot of ways. The vampire theme is more about some sort of communion with one another and coming together, sharing a mind, being part of this bigger thing than yourselves, than the individual. And there is some theme in there about that even transcends things like racism and the clan and all of that, like something beyond skin tone, right? And almost like they're unified by being a vampire. And that moment in the movie, again, it kind of like, wait, are the vampires actually the bad guy here? Comparatively to the things outside the world, maybe the actual vampire communion is a better thing than what humanity is at this point in time in this 1930s Jim Crow era that's fractured, that's divided, that they can't even shop in the same grocery stores, that there's the blacks shop here, white shop there. This is black money, this is plantation money, this is real money and real power, and how currency is used to hold people back from ever, I guess, growing in the real world. In that sense, it's almost like you're taking the plot device and pretty much the bones of From Dusk Till Dawn and trying to make something more meaningful out of it, something that says something. Whereas From Dusk Till Dawn, I don't know if it really says anything, but it's fun and that it's a cool idea and that. So I kind of want to give credit to the director for that. But, again, I went into this like the guy is going to own this movie after 25 years. It's a refreshing new vampire film, all of this stuff, a different thing I haven't seen exactly before. I like the actor, I liked his previous films. So everything kind of pulls me into wanting to support this film as much as possible. With that said, though, I don't know if it's not cribbed from Dusk Till Dawn, which, look, is a cult classic film. I mean, this isn't like some B-list movie that people didn't like, that it's okay to go pick the bones of and nobody will notice. Like, I don't know if From Dusk Till Dawn needs a remake. I know they've tried to do a live action TV show and stuff like that with it. I think it's a cult classic for a reason, and I don't think you should borrow from cult classics as much as at least this movie did. And I can't help but wonder like how successful this director really is. I loved Creed a lot. And once I watched this film, I looked back and I'm not so sure, can he come up with a franchise on his own? This movie, to me personally, and again, I'm going to be attacked for this, pulled a lot from Dusk Till Dawn. It's almost like the script from it, and it's just been rewritten a little bit with some other ideas. Now, it has some other meanings in it with music and black culture and how music can bring people together through hard times and stuff like that. That's kind of thrown in there, but it's still based off the bones and the plot from Dusk Till Dawn. I can't see past it. Am I wrong for this? Look, Creed was based off of the Rocky franchise and the history and continuity of Rocky, right? Black Panther was an already existing continuity that had already been threaded within the MCU and that countless years of comics and development of that character. This film, I can't see it as a very unique standalone film, although it is done well. And I love the ending of it. I cannot see past it. Pulls and almost cribs the plot from Dusk Till Dawn. I'm interested in his next film if he actually does come up with something unique unto itself. I don't know. There are two type of creative people that come up with crazy new ideas that maybe sometimes people don't accept. And then there are creators that are good with already existing ideas and concepts and retelling those stories. I've seen this time and time again in the American comic book industry. Big writers come around and they're the next hot thing on Fantastic Four, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, whatever. But the only reason they're so good at it is because somebody previously had already established the character and all the ins and outs and what basically make the story work. With this film, I mean, my honest end all be all thing, and I know everybody's going to hate me for it, is I feel like the director just made a better From Dusk Till Dawn. I think he made a better brother relationship from Dusk Till Dawn. I think he made maybe a better, more sophisticated vampire, obviously, from the vampires from Dusk Till Dawn. And I think in the end, like he had better hold up characters in the actual club than, I don't know. I like the priest in From Dusk Till Dawn a lot, but they seem to be more unique characters in the movie, but it's all there. The bones are there, guys. If you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Everybody yell at me for having this take. And, you know, maybe go out here and sign up for our next comic book, Anatomic, which is up right now. You can sign up for this. This is a prequel to my series, Inglorious Rex, which number 3 ended at $300,000 for our comic. So thank you guys. If you're missing out on any Nine Lives Comics merch or comics, you can go to Nine Lives Comics. The link is down below. Go to shop. You can buy from Exin to Inglorious Rex to our all ages kids book, Starlight Cats. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for my intellectual property, Inglorious Rex, and we'll catch you guys again with another video.
Yeah, I ain't gon' lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first, reverse, now you last. Blast of the past. It's cool though. Last card playing right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride. We ready to slide. Hard-headed, I will not listen. If you do not get it, that's your bad. Keep up in the sky like we see you feet up. Metal meets metal, it's no keeping up. Sniper division, it's no seeing us. This here is earned, ain't no hookups. So if you wanna eat, gotta cook up. Next level on the way, better look up.